All right, let's get right into it. Have you ever walked out of a meeting feeling on top of the world? You got the yes, you sealed the deal, only for it to completely fall apart later? Yeah, we've all been there. Today, we're going to figure out exactly why that happens and, more importantly, how to make sure your agreements actually stick. This isn't some new age business problem. We're talking more than 2,000 years ago, the legendary strategist Sun Tzu pointed out a king who loved hearing a good plan but had absolutely no ability to make it happen. It's a lesson that stood the test of time. Talk is cheap, and there's a huge canyon between saying you'll do something and actually doing it. So, in the world of modern negotiation, a lot of us have been taught to chase one thing, one single objective. But it turns out that objective is often a trap, one that can lead you straight to failure. For ages, we've been told the whole point, the finish line of any negotiation, is getting the other side to say yes, right? It feels like a win. It feels like you've convinced them. But honestly, this is probably one of the most dangerous myths in making any kind of deal. It is absolutely crucial to understand that not all yeses mean the same thing. Think of it like this. On one side, you have the counterfeit yes. This is just a polite, easy way for someone to end the conversation and make you go away. And on the other side, you have the commitment yes, the real deal, the one that actually leads to action.
You know who figured this out the hard way? FBI hostage negotiators. They were some of the first to realize that this counterfeit yes is a total trap. It's what people say to make you feel good so you'll leave them alone. You walk away thinking you've won when in reality, you've got absolutely nothing.
Okay, so if yes is the trap, what's the key? What's the escape hatch? Well, the real breakthrough happens when you stop chasing that yes and you start focusing on a much, much more powerful word. So here it is, the single most important point. An agreement is just words on paper or words in the air until it's actually implemented. Real success isn't a handshake, it's execution. Profits, results, a life saved. Those things only happen when the plan gets put into motion. And this is where the magic happens. We're talking about calibrated how questions. See, instead of pushing for a yes, you start asking questions that gently force the other person to think about the nitty-gritty details. You're not telling them what to do. You're making them figure out how to make it happen. And this simple little question, it might be the most powerful tool you have. When you ask, how am I supposed to do that? In a really respectful, almost deferential tone, it flips the whole dynamic. Suddenly, the burden of solving the problem isn't on you anymore. It's on them, and it invites them to collaborate with you. You have to train your ears to listen for those mushy, non-committal phrases like, I'll try, or you're right, or we'll think about it. Those are huge red flags. The moment you hear one, it's your cue to follow up with a calm, how will we do that? Or how will we know we're making progress? You just keep asking how until you get real, concrete answers. So you've used your how questions, you've got a plan sketched out, but how do you make sure it's not all just talk? How do you guarantee it'll stick? Well, there's a simple but incredibly effective process to lock it all in. It's called the rule of 3. The idea is to get your counterpart to agree to the same core thing at least 3 different times in the same conversation. So first, you might ask, how will we handle this deadline? After they answer, you summarize what they said to get a that's right from them. And finally, you could use a label like, so it sounds like you're really confident we can get this done by Friday. When they agree that 3rd time, it becomes really, really hard for them to backpedal later. All right, theory is great, but let's see how all this plays out in a situation where the stakes are literally life and death. So, an American ecotourism guide named Jose gets kidnapped in Ecuador. The negotiation wasn't just about a ransom number. The FBI team guided his family to ask calibrated how questions. How are we supposed to pay you if we don't even know if he's alive? How are you going to guarantee his safe return after we pay? These questions forced the kidnappers to think through the logistics. And in doing so, they created the very path that led to Jose's safe return just 2 days later. And this case just drives the point home perfectly. The success wasn't the deal they struck over the phone. The success was the implementation. It was Jose safe and sound back with his family. That's it. That is the only victory that actually matters. So, how can you take these exact same techniques and apply them in your own life? Whether you're leading a project at work or just negotiating with your kids about bedtime. Okay, here's your playbook. Number 1, let the other person define the how. It makes them feel like the solution was their idea, so they own it. 2, summarize their plan back to them until you get that magic 2-word response. That's right. And finally, number 3,
Never, ever leave a meeting without total clarity on the execution plan. Who is doing what and by when.
I really want you to take this to heart. Adopt this as your new mantra, your new unbreakable tone. This mindset completely shifts your focus away from the cheap thrill of a yes and toward the concrete reality of execution. From now on, you only trade in certainty. Seriously, think about it. The next time you get an agreement, don't just pop the champagne. Pause for a second and ask yourself, do I know exactly, step by step, how this is going to happen? Because a yes without a how, well, it's just a conversation that never really went anywhere at all.